Yo guys, this is Jack C99 and welcome back to the YouTube channel. You're watching your host once again, Jack C99. And before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe and enable notifications so that you don't miss out. Right, so guys, welcome back to the channel. And a bit of breaking news coming out from Hibernian SC today. The longest serving players, Paul Hanlon and Lewis Stevenson, will leave Hibernian SC after almost 2 decades at Hibernian SC, playing I think it was about 11,000 games or something like that. Yo guys, welcome back. So we are currently leaving off where we left off on yesterday's start of the video, which was talking about Paul Hanlon and Lewis Stevenson. As you know, they will be leaving at the end of the season, so I'm hoping they get the best send-off because they've brought a lot to the club and they should get to start on Sunday. They should get to start on Wednesday. And the last game of the season for Oakir. They've brought a lot to the club. Even Lewis Stevenson basically getting man of the match in the CIS Insurance Cup in 2007 when we bet Kilmarnock at Hampden Park, Glasgow 5-1, with Benjerlin scoring twice and Rob Jones scoring, and also the other goal scorers were Fletcher. So it was really good. It was a good day as well. I can see why Lewis Stevenson did get man of the match, because he showed what he had. And Lewis Stevenson's first appearance against Hibs and first debut against Hibs from the Hibs Academy was in 2005 against Ayr United in a Scottish Cup game. So yeah, Lewis Stevenson is the only Hibs player with a Scottish Cup winners medal and the Scottish League Cup winners medal as well. And I actually heard that for a lot of Hibs fans, so that's really good to kind of know that as well, to add into this video as well. So yeah, pretty much I thank Lewis Stevenson for his service. He's brought a lot to the club. One of the best goals that I've seen him score last season was at St Johnstone, but another good memorable goal that I liked was the one that he scored at Ibrox when we were still in the Scottish Championship, and then he's like that with the hands up in the air. Scored a lot of goals for Hibs. He scored against Rangers at Easter Road back when Neil Lennon was manager, which was our first season back in the Scottish Premiership. So he has done quite a lot for the club, and I thank him for that. Paul Hanlon scored a lot of memorable goals. Hanlon scoring the equaliser at Tynecastle, where Hibs actually went on towards Scottish Cup glory. So that's what guided us, and that's just it. So yeah, you can see what the longest servants of Hibernian SC, Paul Hanlon and Lewis Stevenson, have brought to the club over the years. Hanlon scored a lot of goals that mean a lot for the club as well. You know, he's been a good servant himself. I remember his first team debut as well, and I remember Lewis Stevenson's back in 2005, which was away at Ayr United. So a lot has really happened, and you want to look at that and say, right, well, there's a lot happening here. And when the news broke that Paul Hanlon and Lewis Stevenson were leaving, it was a bit of a shock. I basically grew up watching Paul Hanlon and Lewis Stevenson as well. The Hibs Golden Age, Frank Sozzi, back in 2001, bearing in mind I was only 2-year-old at the time, but my dad took me to actually see a player like that, so we the God, as they say. So I've seen all the players growing up in your... As I say guys, I want to hear your thoughts on Hanlon and Lewis Stevenson, like your thoughts on what they've brought to the club as well. That's just, you know, because I like to hear other people's thoughts on Hanlon and Lewis Stevenson. My thoughts on them, like I say, is they've brought a lot to the club, and as I've said, Hanlon and Lewis Stevenson, they've won us the Scottish Cup, Scottish Championship title when we went down and then came back up after 3 years. There is a lot there that they've offered. I've scored a lot of goals for the club now and again, not as much as any other player, but they have scored for the club as a Hibs player. They have offered what is best, and I think that no matter what Hanlon and Stevenson do for Hibs, it's been appreciated, and the fans have shown that. They've gave a good service, and Hanlon and Stevenson are the best players that I've watched growing up as well, alongside Gary O'Connor, Derek Riordan, the Golden Age, Scott Brown, Stephen Whittaker, and all the names just come out of nowhere. Frank Sozzi as well, which I seen play in 2001, but I was only 2 year old at the time. So it was like, that was a game that my dad took me to see Frank Sozzi, because my dad wanted me to witness seeing him as a player, so I went to that. The new West Stand was in the middle of getting constructed, but seeing all the players growing up, it just makes your mind just blow, because you're seeing all these famous names, all these legends, and a lot's changed at Hibs. And then the day has finally came where Paul Hanlon and Lewis Stevenson will depart the club after 2 decades, and I think they've still got time in them, definitely. Whether they go to maybe a lower league in Scottish football, Championship, maybe even Scottish League 1 or 2. I mean, I'm not saying what club they could go to, but in my opinion, a club that I would say they could maybe go to would probably be maybe, say for instance, for their level, maybe Spartans or Wraith Rovers or something like that. Then I think Ian Murray would maybe take, and I did say that earlier in this vlog, I think Ian Murray would probably take the two of them for experience in defence, just to help the other players out and maybe guide them to wherever they want to be, which would probably be the Premiership, because it has been a long time coming since Wraith Rovers were in the Prem. But look, my favourite signature goals for Paul Hanlon and Lewis Stevenson, and all Hibs fans will remember the one at Tynecastle, the equaliser that guided us to Scottish Cup glory. That was a good goal. The scenes when that goal went in was amazing. And my favourite Lewis Stevenson goal, and it always will be, is the one where he scored at Ibrox, where Hibs were in the full white kit, the marathon bet there, and I think it was the first season in the Championship, and it was at Ibrox. We won 2-1. Stevenson scored the winner. Stevenson's celebration, it was good. He was just like arms out like that, and it was like, wow, seeing a player just celebrating the moment and enjoying it. That's football. And no other club in Britain has had loyal players like Lewis Stevenson and Paul Hanlon, longest serving players like Lewis Stevenson and Paul Hanlon. Hibs are the only club that's had that. The service that Hanlon and Stevenson have given us. And what I'm going to do right now is just roll all the photos, my favourite photos that I've got of Hanlon and Stevenson, and all the players in the Hibs squad that have wished Lewis Stevenson and Paul Hanlon good luck in the future. So I'll just roll them now, and then I'll see you after. It's good. Chris Cadden, Campbell, Murray Johnston and all that, just congratulating them. You can see what it means to them sharing a pitch with those legends, players like them. It must make their minds blow as well. So it's like, it's great. And I do wish Paul Hanlon and Lewis Stevenson good luck in the future. I also, in my opinion, what I'm going to say here the now is that Hanlon and Stevenson are true gentlemen, and they always have time to speak to the fans and hear what they have to say. And you know, when I met Paul Hanlon and Lewis Stevenson a good few times, they're really nice people to talk to, and that's what I love about being a football fan. Guys, whatever happens at Hibs, whoever comes in the summer, it's not going to be easy to replace legends like Hanlon and Stevenson. It's not, because they are legends and they will go down as legends, icons if you will. Hanlon and Stevenson, right? Out of all the players I've watched growing up, if I was to put a list of the best players that I watched growing up, Lewis Stevenson would be in there, along with Gary O'Connor, Derek Riordan, Stephen Whittaker, you name it, Frank Sozzi, and then just continue it with there. And I feel great being a Hibs fan, because meeting players like that, seeing players like that, and watching players like that play, it's just amazing, you know, like, and I feel proud to be a Hibby right now. When I was on the Long Bangers podcast tonight, I kind of agree. The send-off should have been on Sunday after the Aberdeen game, because then Wednesday night, giving them a send-off, I think it's, you're waiting at night to wait for that send-off, how long it'll go on at night and how long it'll be there for, and then just being in that stadium for longer, you're just going to be like, well, you know, it's like next level stuff. On the Wednesday night, the game finishes, plus added on time, you're talking about nearly 9:30 or so at night. So then it's like, you'll not get out the ground until nearly 10:30 or so at night. So it's like, there's a lot happening. And by the time you get home and stuff, it's like really late at night, but then you're still there. You've witnessed the moment. He's sending off the longest serving players, thanking them for what they've brought to the club. And yes, Lewis Stevenson is the only Hibs player with a Scottish League Cup winners medal and a Scottish Cup winners medal, and obviously a championship title winners medal. I hope everything continues positive, and wherever you end up, I'm sure everything will go well. And as a Hibs fan, thank you for your service, and yeah, it's been good seeing players like Hanlon and Stevenson at Hibs, along with all the other legends that I've seen as well. Okay guys, that's going to do it for today's video on the Jack C99 YouTube channel. Once again, huge shout outs go out to Bella for Hibs Supporters Group, and Matty for Long Bangers, and everyone else for Long Bangers. And apart from that guys, that's going to do it for today's video. And before this video ends, make sure to do the most important things. Smash that like button, subscribe and enable notifications. As being your host once again, Jack C99. And apart from that guys, that'll do for today, and until next time, bye bye.